Yep.
If you tend to have a lot of problems around the greens, especially with the chipping, what I'd suggest is you use a technique that we use a lot with the higher handicap players, or you can even use it on very fast greens. When you're close to the green, what we want to try and do is actually take our wrists out of the shot. So this technique is called a chip putt, pretty much because it's as close as to a putting action as that you can get. What we're looking at is actually holding on to the club with your putting grip. So remember, with the putting grip, we're holding it much more of a palm type of grip. The next step I want you to do is have your feet very close together. Now, not only do we have our feet close together, but I want you to make it feel like that the weight is a lot on the left side. Now, the easy way to do that is to make it feel like that your sternum is over the top of the ball, or in this case, it's going to be actually in front of the ball, and your right eye will be over the top of the ball. That will help you to put all of your weight on your left side. Now, the important thing there is I want you to try and keep the weight, and especially keep your head in that position with your right eye over the top of the ball, because you'll see many people, they get very wristy and they go behind the ball trying to help it up. So with this chip putt, we want our feet very close together, the ball is back in the stance. I want your right eye over the top of the ball, so you're in front of the ball. Now with your arms, with trying to actually make it more of the arm and shoulder action, what we find is that it's very important to just, what we're doing in the putting is rock the shoulders backwards and forwards. So to help that, it's a good idea to spread your elbows apart. So that'll tend to take a lot of the wrist action out. Now the last thing that I want you to notice, and one of the most important things is that with a normal club, we hold it down here. With a chip putt, I want you to try and make it a lot more vertical. So the toe of the club is actually sitting on the ground. Now again, that's going to actually help to stop the wrist action in the motion. So let's go through that again. Feet very close together. Your right eye is over the top or in front of the ball. The weight is then naturally going to be on the left side. We're going to have the ball slightly back in the stance and your hands forward. We've got that putting grip and the elbows out. Now I want you to just try and make that small action, rocking the shoulders backwards and forwards, keeping the left wrist very firm. Now one thing you can add to that I've just stolen from the kids' swimming pool, it's a good thing to practice, and especially with this technique out of the rough. The angle of attack we're trying to get it is a little steeper. So what we're going to do is do that same stroke, but if we put the kid's noodle behind our ball, set up the same way. Okay, what I want you to try and do is just nice and easy. I want you to not brush the noodle like I have. I want you to go over the top of it and then come down and through, keeping the left wrist nice and firm. So again, feet close together, right eye over the top of the ball, the club is up on its toe, your elbows are out. And just make that very brisk up and down action, keeping the left wrist nice and firm. Now when you practice that, you've got to do it with maybe an 8 iron to start off with, and then experiment with 6 irons and pitching wedges. But I'm sure if you work on that, take your wrist action out and make it more like a putting action, that chip putt will get you far closer to the hole.